Hi, today is August 8th, 2026, and here are my poems for the day. The first one is poem number 1220 for the year, More Than a Week's Worth. Toward the end of last month, I did a show at Howl Arts. I got there early, and after exchanging pleasantries with several audience members and other performers, I went outside and took some pictures. One of a door adorned with graffiti and stickers, one of a square of dirt where a tree might go, one of a man with a plant who looked like he had antlers, one of a couple of locks, one of something that looked like a shovel, one of some inscrutable graffiti, one of a single feather, and one a pattern that vaguely reminded me of the work of Morris Louis or maybe Helen Frankanthaler or Clyfford Still. I saw so many things that I wanted to take a picture of that I thought perhaps I could find a week's worth of images to inspire poems. But I was wrong. I found more than a week's worth. Poem number 1221, The Art World. In the previous poem, I chose to put Morris Lewis's name before Helen Frankanthaler's for rhythmic purposes, but I once heard a rumor that when Clement Greenberg began to tire of Frankanthaler as a person, he began in his essays to elevate Morris Louis at the expense of Frankanthaler. It is stories like that that make me happy that I make paintings with no aspirations toward making it in the art world. The art world sounds like a horrible place. Poem number 1222, Happily Ever After. They lived happily ever after having escaped the wolves who had discovered them in the house that they had entered to shelter themselves from the simultaneous earthquake and hailstorm which happened after the witch undid the spell that she had cast that had turned the town to stone, which she did because they had defeated her, which they did after meeting the magical wooden man who had been lost for months in the purple woods that they had wandered into after having finished their fine and filling picnic that they had had after leaving their home once upon a time. Poem number 1223, The Testament of Tommy Testicles. I've got to be honest here and say that I've got nothing. I thought of the title, and I thought it would be a good springboard for something silly and possibly hilarious, but after writing the title down, I stared at it for several seconds, and nothing came to me. I suppose I could have given it a little more time, but I didn't. The Testament of Tommy Testicles will just have to be another instance of something that showed great promise, but that never reached its potential. That is just the way it goes sometimes. Better luck next time. Poem number 1224, The Testicles of Tommy Testament. Tommy Testament's testicles sat together on the wooden chair, refusing to speak to each other, barely even acknowledging each other's existence. This was a shame, since they had so much in common, and if they could put aside their differences, they could probably become good friends. And if they united their efforts, they could most likely become a powerful force for good. But unfortunately, the testicles couldn't let bygones be bygones, nor could they let testicles be testicles. Tommy Testament got out of his chair and went to the bathroom completely unaware of the drama going on between his legs. But very soon, all hell would break loose, and it would not be pretty. Poem number 1225, The Unpredictable Past. I could have sworn that the Confederacy and the January 6th rioters were traitors to this country. I could have sworn that Black Lives mattered, that a woman's body was hers and hers alone. I could have sworn that we still haven't made reparations for slavery or the American Indian genocide. I could have sworn that FDR was one of our greatest presidents and that Reagan was one of our worst. It all just goes to show the past is unpredictable, perhaps as unpredictable as the future. And the last poem of the day, poem number 1226, Meanwhile, the Future. The future kept knocking on the door and trying to come in, but as soon as it entered, it was the present, and before you knew it, it was the past. Meanwhile, the future kept knocking on the door and trying to come in. All right, that's it. Thank you. I appreciate you.